Hello, dear hospitality and hotel management students, my friends in the hospitality world, budding chefs and professionals. I welcome you all to this exciting educational channel that is Hospitality Education PPT. This channel is meant for you for your education and learning purposes only. I hope all of you are doing well and at your best right now. And you all know that I am Bonaful Banerjee, your host for this session. And today I am going to discuss a very basic level but extremely important learning topic, that is the art of mise-en-place. Friends, I believe that this term is not unknown to you. To be successful in the food service industry, chefs need more than the ability to prepare delicious, attractive and nutritious food. They also must have a talent for organizing and efficiently work in the kitchen. In every kitchen, a great many tasks must be completed over a given time and by a limited number of workers. That is a great challenge. No matter when these tasks are done, but they all must come together at one crucial point, that is the service time. Only if preparation is done thoroughly and systematically, the service can be ensured that it will go very smoothly. That is the whole scenario and picture about the word mise-en-place. Now in this coming 30 to 40 minutes of session, I'll try to give you a very in-depth concept of work principle in the kitchen, and we'll talk about mise-en-place, and I'll try to give you some very transparent picture in your mind, especially for the budding chefs and budding professionals, about the concept of the word mise-en-place. So without wasting further time, let us converge to our day's lesson, and I welcome you all to this particular channel, that is Hospitality Education PPT. The meaning of the word mise-en-place is the first question comes in our mind if we want to start from the very scratch and very basic level. This image is talking about that there are many pre-preparation of vegetables and non-vegetarian items or various meat items and kept in different container in a very organized manner. This is a true picture of a mise-en-place. What does it mean then? What does this word particularly mean? Is it only indicating the cutting of vegetables and various meat and fish products? Or it is only talking about how to store them properly in right temperature, right rack and right areas? Or is it only talking about how to procure this kind of raw ingredients for the production of the food or the delicious item in the kitchen? Or is it only indicating how to arrange them properly? Here comes the actual idea and the meaning of the word, that is mise-en-place. Mise-en-place in French culinary term means everything in its place. That is the literal meaning, everything in its place. It refers to the practice of preparing and organizing all the necessary ingredients, tools and equipment before you start your actual cooking process. That is, altogether the picture is termed as the mise-en-place. What's involved in the mise-en-place then? We can see very few basic things out here. One is, one has to visualize each step you will take to complete a particular task. That is, visualization power is very important for mise-en-place. And then of course another one, that is making a list. That is another one, artful working style, that how to make all the entire list, that what is to be done and how serially and sequentially it will be done. That will be your list in hand. Then the time for gathering supplies and recruiting the proper people for the support and help. And then finally doing the prep work, that means preparation work, from cutting vegetables to cleaning the hob. Everything includes. It is not only cooking, it includes procuring, cutting, and then cleaning the hob after utilizations of the preparation of the food. That is the doing, what is to be done. And finally arranging everything within reach or nearby before you actually commence with your task of the preparation. So before the final preparations, you need to look at your work from many angles. That is, visualizing the steps involved, making a list accordingly as per the priority list, then gathering everything starting from raw materials and other equipments, even the people also at work, organizing them properly, then doing the actual prep work, cutting down to the cleaning, everything will be done together, and then arranging them properly before you actually start with your actual cooking work. All these things is coming under the word that is mise-en-place. Let us try to elaborate it a little more. Mise-en-place means assemble of tools. It also means assemble of ingredients. It also indicates that washing, trimming, cutting and measuring of raw ingredients as per your requirements, and then prepare your own equipments like the oven. Oven has to be preheated before any kind of baking of the lining of the baking tray with the baking sheets, etc., and many other work to be done beforehand. So once you complete this 1, 2, 3, 4, that means you are almost through with your mise-en-place. What is the problem actually? Why we are giving so much emphasis on this word mise-en-place? The problem is, every food service operation faces a basic conflict between two unavoidable facts. What are those? First one is, there is far too much work to do in a kitchen to leave until the last minute. So some work must be done ahead. It simply means that there are immense of work to be taken into consideration and has to be completed before you actually go for your actual final cooking. So that is immense workload. Number two, most foods are at their best quality immediately after preparation and they deteriorate as they held. So you cannot cook everything beforehand, semi-cook and prepare it beforehand so that you are ready and sitting idle. When the order will come, you will prepare it. No, that is not the rule. Why? Because most of the products may get deteriorated quality-wise over the span of time. So you should be very careful about this problem, and that's why the word mise-en-place is there. How to solve this issue then? To solve this problem, the chef must plan the pre-preparation carefully. Planning generally follows the following steps should be followed right now. Number one, break each menu item down into its stages of production. One menu item can be prepared in multiple stages. So you have to break down your task. Note that the procedures are divided into a sequence of steps. There has to be a proper sequence that has to be followed, which must be done in a certain order to make a finished product. So that means there is a priority of task and all the tasks are interlinked with the sequence. Then only it is possible. One task is complete, then the next task, then the third task, and then the following task. So you cannot do it haphazardly. You should be very organized. You have to visualize and make the list accordingly by breaking down the entire task into multiple tasks. Number two, determine which stages may be done in advance. Not all the stages can be done in advance. Some of the stages are there, like making of stock, simply can be done beforehand. Very simple example I am doing. Fabricating the meat and marinating it, that can be also done beforehand. And it can be stored rightly in the right temperature, in the right place of the refrigerator. So this you have to determine. Then the first step of any recipe, whether written or not, is always a part of advanced preparation. Assembling and preparing the ingredients that you have to do. This includes cleaning and cutting produce, cutting and trimming meats, and preparing breading and batters for frying. If that is the task to be done, you have to do it sequentially. So assembling, preparing the ingredients is starting from the cleaning of the ingredients, then cutting them as per the requirement of the recipe, and then fabricating the meat as well and preparing it for breading. Sometimes you require to coat the product with the breadcrumbs, so that is known as breading. That has to be done. For the breadcrumbs also, sometimes before coating we need to dip them in a batter for frying, so the batter has to be ready. So as per your recipe demand, you have to make all these things arranged beforehand in a very organized manner. Succeeding steps of a recipe may be done in advance if they can then be held without loss of quality. So it is that you can do it in advance provided there is no loss of their quality. That you have to take into consideration. That is very, very important, because don't forget that we are handling with the food materials. Any minimal negligence in your work can create an enormous danger in the health of the customer who is consuming it. So naturally, you should be very careful about this. Final cooking should be done as close as possible to service for maximum freshness. So that is understood. We are utilizing the MiseenPlace. That means breaking down the task into small tasks, doing it in advance, but the final preparation will be done only close to the service, so that to retain the maximum freshness of the product. That is the solution of MiseenPlace. How it helps? It helps to ensure that the cooking process is efficient, organized, and stress-free. Obviously, if you are not organized in your work, what will happen? At the time of final production, you may be run here and there to get some of the ingredients, or to get some of the tools, or you can see that your oven is not ready by the time for baking, last moment baking, or your griller is not reached to the right temperature level. So naturally all these problems, if it is there, it will ultimately increase your stress level, and that will have direct impact on the quality of the production. It should be very organizing. If you follow the MiseenPlace guideline, so naturally it will ensure that the cooking process is efficient, organized and stress-free. I hope that it is clear in your mind. Second point, in a professional kitchen, it is considered an essential part of the cooking process. So we cannot think of a professional kitchen without having a very good mise-en-place with you. So you'll ultimately land up to a place which is termed as an unprofessional way of dealing with the ingredients. It allows chefs to work more quickly and efficiently, and it helps to prevent mistakes and accidents. Very true, very logical, very important as well. If you are doing your mise-en-place beforehand, step by step, logically, sequentially connected, then obviously it will help you to make your mistakes to a zero level. And there should not be any last moment running here and there. So you can avoid the accidents in the kitchen because it is a very busy place. So naturally, mise-en-place will help you. If you are ready with your mise-en-place, you will be free from all these problems ahead of you. It is a great way to stay organized and focused when cooking. That is obvious. If I am standing on a hot range and working, and if I see all the ingredients are there arranged properly in front of me, left side, right side, top, bottom, in the shelves, the equipment, everything is ready naturally and within my easy access. So what will happen that I will be only focused about the cooking, nothing else. The moment I am out of focus of the cooking and running for some equipments or ingredients, obviously there is a possibility that it will affect the final quality and the end product you are going to prepare. By preparing everything in advance, you can enjoy the cooking process more and create delicious meals with ease. If you can bring down your actual load of cooking by breaking down into small tasks which can be done earlier and it is arranged properly, automatically you will be stress free and will be able to prepare a delicious food without having any stress and without compromising with the quality of the product. That is all what we are talking about, the help we can get. Then how to organize it or how to get organized? The best chefs know how to get organized for optimal production and efficiency. In the very first slide, I have mentioned about visualize. The chef should visualize the thing properly. That is very much required. Their organization begins with a professional attitude, arriving early to the workstation, appropriately attired because you need to have your protective clothing on while working in the kitchen because you know you are a food handler. So there is every possibility that your germs present in your attire, if it is not properly maintained, then that will harbor some diseases in the food and that will be creating food poisoning and it will hamper the quality as well as the health of the customer. So naturally we cannot afford to do that. And having an adequately owned cutlery set. Your knife you are working and the knife is blunt, obviously it will be very difficult for a chef to produce the best cut. You need to have a horned cutlery set with you. So chef means these are all synonymous. It will be well attired, arriving in right time with proper professional attitude, eye for detailing is there, and adequately honed cutlery with you so that your work principle will be very simple and you can work flawlessly in the kitchen. This is the way you can get organized. Now let us start with the prep list. In the beginning I mentioned about the word prep list. Prep list is what? It is nothing but the list of the preparations to be done. A professional cooking requires food to be prepared or prepped in stages and batches to various degrees of readiness and then finished and assembled to order on the line. A simple example I can give you, the French fries. French fries are well in advance fabricated, then blanched and kept. And as per depending of your order style, if you know that this is the way the French fries will go, so you can always keep it ready. And whenever your deep fat fryer will be ready and the order comes, you just take the required amount of French fries to be fried and dip it in right temperature the deep fat fryer and get the things done. So it is in right order. And that is the essence of mise-en-place. Soups and sauces can be usually be prepared ahead of time and held in a holding unit. No point of making a sauce which will take some hours. No question of making a soup because soup will be cooked for a certain amount of time so that it is boiled, simmered and then finally garnished. So you have to have some basic things done beforehand. You can always prepare a soup and keep it in holding area. You can use a bain-marie where the semi-liquid and liquid food can be kept hot without losing their compromising with the quality. Sauce can also be made beforehand, kept ready. Steaks and fish can be cut, that means fabricated and seasoned or marinated and must be cooked as per the order. You cannot keep the fish fried and ready. You cannot just reheat the fried fish and serve it to the guest. You can do the crumbing beforehand, fabrication, marination, crumbing, that is breading, everything will be done beforehand. Then store it properly within your reach in the line cook where you are working, line station, from where the order will be delivered. The moment order comes, you just put it in a deep fat fire from your store and deep fry it and serve it immediately. That is the way we can work. If you start working from a very basic level, the moment order comes, if you pick up a fish, then fabricate and then wash and then marinate and after a certain time go for breading and then finally frying and serving it to the guest, then it is a question of time. So naturally we cannot afford to do that. We have to have these beforehand. So frying can be done as soon as the order will come. So that is about the concept of the prep list. Anthony Bourdain said that mise-en-place is the religion of all good line cooks. As a cook or a chef, your station and its condition, its state of readiness is an extension of your nervous system. So you understand this well. If all the things are not done properly, obviously what will happen? Your stress will climb up. You will be clueless at one point of time. Your food will be prepared delayed. Guest will be annoyed. Quality of food will deteriorate. So naturally it will be all in a very messy condition. So it is your religion. Get yourself ready from all aspects before you start your actual work. That is the essence of working in a professional kitchen. Let us see the prep organizations, how the prep can be organized. Kitchen production is usually divided into two major prep. One is a major prep for several days or as much as a week in advance. And there is a daily prep of items that needed for service during the shift. Like if I require a brunoise of carrots for garnishing a consomme, I cannot keep these brunoise cut 1 week before. It will be cut at the time of service only for the garnish. Major prep, like I have mentioned about the fabrication of meat, fabrication of steak from a fillet, beef fillet, or fabricating fish. For simple example is a fried fish or poaching of fish. These all can be done beforehand, 1 week before, subject to your volume of business. That should be taken into consideration, because you know in your restaurant or in your food outlet how much of food will be sold in a weekday and the weekends. So accordingly your prep will be also organized, major prep and daily prep. I hope this point is very clear to you. Daily prep required for specials and perishable items that need to be as fresh as possible, as I have mentioned. Fish, salad greens, garnishes, delicate pastries, that will be under daily prep only. Major prep, we always follow 75-25 rule. In a restaurant production, our general rule is 75% of the production will be used on the weekends, because most of the people will come to visit your popular restaurants on the weekends. So volume of business from Monday to Friday is what? That is not the same as what is there on Saturday evening and Sunday. So naturally, accordingly, you can divide your major prep and daily prep, divide them and follow 75-25 rules. Sometimes we follow 125% rule. It is always a good idea to prep for an extra amount, and the general rule is to prep for 125%. Why extra amount? Because as I have mentioned, on holidays, that is Saturday and Sundays, naturally there will be more volume of business. So accordingly, your mise-en-place should be ready, your major prep should be ready. You cannot make the chicken lollipop the moment the order comes. You have to make it beforehand, fabricate it, marinate it, and keep it ready. And if you know that because of your bar, this food will be sold on, especially on holidays or Saturday and Sundays, so naturally your volume of work should be more, and you should be mentally and actually ready with a major prep in your hand. Only whatever is fresh, that will be done as your daily prep only. So that is the concept of major prep and daily prep. Now let us see how we can organize your workstation. Very simple. Number one, plan and organize. Make sure you have all kitchen tools and ingredients ready and prepared before start of cooking. This might sound logic, but it is always good to remind yourself that whether all the liquids are pre-measured, whether everything defrosted, whether meat is marinated and prepared. These are few questions I have raised out here. So give you some indication about your plan and organizations. If all these ready, that means your point number one is clicked. Point number two, prepare for your peak hours. Plan ahead as much as possible to save yourself later. Review the menu choice trends from your customers and the key times they appear in your restaurant on a weekly basis. You know whether it is a happy hour or normal dinner time or lunchtime buffet. When is the peak hours for your restaurant? You know the style of business. From that you understand. So accordingly, you have to get ready for your peak hours. Read your recipe. Sounds simple, but knowing your menu and all your ingredients will save your time, of course, and keep you ahead when it comes to be the heat of service. If you know your recipe well, accordingly the mise-en-place are kept ready. Obviously, when there is a peak point of service or heat of service, then definitely we can easily have a control over the situations better if your mise-en-place are also in your sight. Counter is clean, very important. We know it's already been drilled in your mind, but your counter can look the same from start of service to finish of service. Ensure that in the morning, whenever you are starting your work, that time how it was your workstation, and once you finish, the same workstation will be in the same stage. That means it will be in between. Care should be taken to clean it properly, keep everything in the right places, and then leave that place for the next day. So always make your counter clean. It cannot be like this that today you have worked and tomorrow once I come and join the same station, I'll see that the work table is dirty, the hot range is absolutely dirty, all the food particles are lying here and there, and foul smells are coming from here and there. This is absolutely, I cannot think of it. It is possible in a professional kitchen. You should be very careful about this, because all these things will ultimately lead to an unprofessional kitchen, and quality wise your food will deteriorate. Consider ready-made ingredients. There are many convenience food available in the market. You have to incorporate them in your menu, in your ingredients. They will save your time both in preparation as well as not having to correct mistakes. Good quality ready-made ingredients, especially if responsible for creating hundreds of the same dishes a day, when you used all well and provide consistency and quality. Many times it may happen that you need to produce a similar kind of things 100 times during your peak hours, because there is a popular item. So obviously you have to bank on certain convenience food which can be incorporated in the part of your ingredients, so that all the time you produce the same quality of your product. Every kitchen station, whether a prep station or a line station means where you actually stand and deliver the order, should be set so that all tools, equipment and mise-en-place are within arm's reach, from left to right, from top to bottom, and this will minimize extra steps and make your timing more efficient. There should not be any loss of time in between for searching of something. So you should be very careful about this workstation. It should be very well organized. Now set up a prep station like a pro cook. Let's see, try to visualize this. Here you can see that different color coded chopping boards are to be used. You can see that for raw poultry, the yellow color chopping board. For fruits and vegetables, the green color chopping board. For the red meat, raw meat, this red color chopping board. For the any cooked food, you have to slice or cut further. Like the roast chicken, you may have to cut and fabricate. So you need a blue color chopping board. For any kind of dairy products, you have a white base. White base like this, and then for the fish and seafood, a gray color chopping board. So this is a color code universally used in all international kitchen. I believe you'll be also able to do the same. Now you can see here a vegetable prep section, how it will be looking like. First of all, this is your chopping board area where you can work. In this side, you are having all the necessary tools you require to fabricate the vegetables. Here you got all the vegetables which has to be fabricated. There is a place to collect all the peels and trimmings, and there is a container where you can keep the vegetables after fabrications. And here you are having a wet towel. Wet towel will be given at the bottom of the chopping board, so that your chopping board is not slipping while working on the work table. So this is your veg section. Similarly, we can see that a fish preparation section here also. This is your area. The fish is to be fabricated out. Here is a cutting board. This side we are having all the basic tools, knife you require to fabricate a fish, starting from the whole fish to other fabricated pieces. You need to have hand gloves sometimes, because the bony fish may hurt you while working. So you need to have a hand gloves that will be also ready. There will be a container with the water where we can keep the fine bones. After pinning the bones, you can put it there so that it is not getting mixed up with the final product. Here is another one container for keeping your product. Scrap container. This is known as scrap containers. Anything scrap or trimmings that you can put. Our wet towel is here. And then this is the place where the tray where we can keep the prepared fish item after fabrications. This is the way you can organize it. And then chicken prep station, very similar. There is a chopping board where the chicken is kept. Here, this is the place. We got a hand gloves to prevent the cutting or anything damaging your hand. Here we are having all the tools, chef's knife and paper towels. We got a scrap container here, and this is the place where you can see the fabricated items. Now we'll give you the concept of a breading station. Breading station means where the fish after fabrication you need to be breaded it before frying. So you have accordingly the arrangement in front of you, how organized it is. You can have a look from this picture that here is the place where all fabricated fish is kept, which was marinated before. Here we are having flour, then the egg batter and the breadcrumbs, and this is the place, your workplace. So fish you take up from here, dip it in flour, dip it in egg wash, then dip it in breadcrumbs, and finally take it back here and crumb it very smoothly from all the sides and send it for frying. So this is how your different workstation will be looking at, and I'm very sure that this picture will create a very transparent idea in your mind about the Mise-en-Place. You can also have a look on this frying station. I'm giving a very simple example of a frying station. If this is your frying pot where you can fry the product, here it is braided fish already. So braided fish in your left hand side. Once the oil having a proper temperature, you can see one thermometer is there. Thermometer is there. Thermometer will indicate you about the right temperature for frying. Then put them in the hot oil. Once you get the right color, use this strainer and spider strainer and remove the fish from the oil and put it here, and the paper sheet is there on top of that so that it can absorb the excess of oil from the fish. This is the way how it works. So ultimately in this particular session, we are now at the end of the session almost. I have tried to give you or create a kind of picture in your mind about Mise-en-Place, the concept, and how you can organize yourself. And also we have learned that how important is it for a professional kitchen for all the chefs. I believe that you have enjoyed this session, and if there is any question, definitely you can put me in the comment box. I'll be able to give you the answer accordingly as earliest as possible, and very soon another exciting lesson will be back for your learning process. If you have liked this session, definitely I'll request you to subscribe and also press the bell button so that you can get the intimation the moment another exciting session will be uploaded in YouTube in this channel, that is Hospitality Education PPT. And also, if possible, you share and put a like and put your valuable comments there, so that it will be a piece of motivation for me, so that I can be back with another one exciting lesson for you, and always will be there as your online friend anytime, anywhere, beyond your actual classrooms. With this sweet note, I am ending this session. Hopefully, we'll be back very soon. With your support, we'll have another one exciting lesson for you. Till then, thank you very much. Goodbye.